From the high desert southwest in an indiscreet shave den located deep within the Rocky Mountains, broadcasting north from McMurdo Sound to the Arctic Circle and east and west across all time zones to our members, this is TSC Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be on this big blue planet we call home, and welcome to the Shaving Cadre Radio. On deck for tonight's show, we'll have questions from our members regarding the 7 deadly sins of wet shaving, which should be a lot of fun. We'll also have our owner roundtable at the end of the show, and then we will have a kind of op-ed on some happenings that are going on with badgerandblade.com. All this and a little bit more when we get back. Stay with us.
Men, after every shave, you need new Ice Blue Aqua Velva, the aftershave lotion that's better for your skin. Aqua Velva cools away razor burn, soothes irritated skin, contains humectant, a skin conditioner that puts back skin moisture. Get new Ice Blue Aqua Velva in this handsome decanter bottle. You'll like its clean, manly scent. You'll hear 'em say,
"There's something about an Aqua Velva man."
Welcome back to TSC Radio, everybody. We certainly appreciate you spending time out of your day to spend it with us on the show. Also, we'd like to thank all the members, including the legacy members, for your membership in the Shaving Cadre Forum. We certainly appreciate it each and every day, and Chris, Chad, and I just want to say thank you. Now, we've got a new segment. Well, really not a new segment. It's an old segment, but we're renaming it. When members have asked questions in the past on previous shows, we've just called it the mail room, or the mail call, rather. But now we're going to do something different. We're going to be calling it Ask Voltar. Well, the reason why we're doing that is because Voltar was really cool from the movie Big, and it was a neat little thing that gave you an answer when you put some money in it. Now, we're not asking you to put any money in it, but we're going to still call it Ask Voltar. Why? Because it's my show and I want to. So anyways, that will be our new segment, so please make sure that you look at the TSC radio thread, and if you see Ask Voltar, that's meaning we want questions from you for upcoming shows. And without any delay, we'll go ahead and do that. There was only a couple this time. Now, the first one came from Nurse Dave, and it said, for those that use a hot towel, what are some of the ways you keep your towel hot until use? There is a discussion thread on a couple of things in the TSC Radio Forum, but I can only tell you from what I do. Go down to Walmart, spend $3 to $5, I think it is, and get a microwave popcorn popper. It's got a nice hopper on the bottom and a very, very nice sealing lid. Take your towel, fold it lengthwise, fold it in half, and then roll it up real tight. Go ahead and soak it as much as you can with water in the sink. Doesn't matter whether it's cold or hot. And then roll it up, wring it out really good, and stick it in this popcorn popper. Then go ahead and take that popcorn popper and stick it in the microwave for 2 minutes. That will steam your towel, and as long as you don't crack that lid, it will keep it hot. What I do is before I take a shower in the morning, I prepare the towel, throw it in the microwave, go take my shower. After I get out of my shower, I take it out of the microwave, put it next to the sink where I'm going to be prep shaving, and that's it. And it is steaming hot when I finally get to that point in the prep portion. And we're going to go over that with our next question. So thanks, Nurse Dave, for that question on how we keep the towels hot. And if anybody has any other ways of keeping the towels hot, please let us know, and we will have that update in future episodes of the TSC Radio. And now from Gearnar, what are the virtues of pre-shave creams versus pre-shave oils? Is it worthwhile? Is it a worthwhile difference using one over the other? I'd like to see the question, can we prep too much? Would over-prepping be detrimental to the shave? And what type of specific towel do I use for the Bandito prep? Well, thanks. That was some great questions, and I'll answer the Bandito prep first. I use Fendrahan towels. If you go to fendrahan.com, I think they have a 5-pack for like $11, and that's a little steep, I will say that. But those are the towels we use at the shop, and they are by far, to me, the best shaving towel that I've ever seen. They hold together really well. They wash together really well. But you can use any towel. I would recommend an 18 by 24 inch towel. That seems to be the best to get the coverage. And the only reason I do the Bandito thing is because I'm standing up. I mean, if I had the time to lay down or to sit down in a recliner, I would do the old-fashioned towel prep under the nose and then wrap it over the forehead. But this is the quickest way to get 1 to 2 minutes of a nice steaming towel, or at the end to get an ice cold towel. So I would recommend, me personally, the Fendra hand towels. But once again, any 18 by 24 towel to give you coverage of the neck, face, and so forth would be the best way to go. So hopefully you can go ahead and check that out. And that's at www.fendrahand.com. Now, as far as the pre-shave stuff, I have tried probably every single pre-shave system there is out there. Pre-shave oils, I think, are complete garbage. That's just my opinion, but I think that they don't, and actually going through Master Barber Training, I found out that they are really obsolete. We'll get to that in a minute. As far as the Paraso, Noxzema creams, and some of the pre-shave soaps like Glyce, they're all fantastic. And what I try to impose on people is it's up to you. Whatever your prep works that softens your beard, and that's what we'll go into, is the whole idea of prep or pre-shave is to do one thing and one thing only. Lubricate the beard, soften the whiskers, and have them stand up so you can whack them off with a DE, a straight, an injector, a single edge, whatever you're using. So whatever method works for you, and even though I can't stand pre-shave oils, we'll get to that in a minute, if that works for you, use them. I mean, it's really a personal thing. Now, in second part of your question, you asked if you can pre-shave pre-shave regimen too much. I don't think so, because whatever gets the wax buildup, the dirt, whatever it may take to get out of your hair so they get softer and easier to shave, then go for it. Because remember, when you're shaving, the softer the beard, the less irritation, because you're not yanking on the hair to get it to pull out. It'll slice through cleanly. For instance, my pre-shave is real simple. You've seen it on some of the videos. Is I wash my face in the shower. I then come back to the shave den and do my actual shave prep. Now, this is a shave prep that, believe it or not, is recommended by barbers. It has been used and taught in the barber textbook for all these years, and there are many, many barbers, when you go in to have a straight shave, this is exactly what they're doing, and it's really rather simple. You whip up your lather in your bowl or in the puck or in your hand and wipe a small amount on your face. Rub that in with the pads of your fingers. This is going to do two things. One, it's going to soften the beard. It feels good. And more importantly, you have a gland at the base of your hair follicle called the sebaceous gland. And what it does is it releases oils to soften the beard. You may know of it called sebum, S-E-B-U-M, hence the word sebaceous gland. So all these pre-shave oils are just adding to that, but they're also blocking the sebaceous gland from getting the oil out to your skin, and your natural oils are better than anything. So this is why the lather hot towel method is recommended so much. So after you take the pads of your fingers, really, really, really work that into your skin. Then you take the steaming hot towel, that steams it. The sebaceous glands are now actually producing that oil, and the steam is bringing that up to your face. And then when you take that towel off and go into lathering, it's almost like having a pre-shave oil or one of these other items ready. But everything you do before that is good. So if you want to use a pre-shave oil, great. If you want to use Noxzema, great. If you want to use Paraso, great. But it's a good idea to go ahead and pre-lather your face, rub that in, and put a hot towel if you have time. But these are all other things that will work, just not quite as well. So I hope that answers your questions for our very first Ask Voltar segment, and we'll be right back right after this with the Owner's Pit Stop. Hey, TSC members, just want to remind everybody that our vendor program is up and running. We have a few prospects in the archives ready to go, we hope. But if you have any vendors, and these are commercial vendors that would like to sponsor and be a part of TSC, please let either Chris, myself, or Chad know, as we'd love to get that vendor program up and running. And also, if you're a hobbyist, in other words, you make stuff and you'd like to sell some of your wares, you can do that. However, you can't do it on the site itself, but you can point them to your creative direction. So please consider a hobbyist badge if you would like to do that as well. Now, we had promised you an op-ed, and we don't like to be negative on the shaving cadre, but I felt that it was necessary that all the members knew what was going on in the ever-continuing saga between myself, apparently, for whatever reason, and badgerandblade.com. Well, about 48 to 72 hours ago, I had logged in, or I tried to log in to badgerandblade.com, as I had not been there in probably 3 months, and maybe since March, since starting the TSC, I had been there 3 times. Well, lo and behold, I come to find out that my account has been suspended. Now, obviously, you can suggest, or you can ask why, and I did so via a professional email to them to find out why I was suspended. However, it was interesting to find out through Chad that earlier in the day, quite a number of the moderators from badgerandblade.com were proving, or should I say lurking, around our site without joining. One of them was Jim Ackville from Chandler. The other was Jason, and there may have been some others that we couldn't track down their IP address, which we do have the possibility of doing. And it was just ironic that that evening is when my account got suspended. Now, the only thing I can think of is that they're upset that the TSC has started, that they're losing some members, or at least they're having members come over here, and the fact that in the last radio show I told the truth. I'll say that again. I told the truth as to what were the reasonings behind me not only starting the TSC, but the situation that occurred with me when I was a steward being behind the curtain. Now, something that you guys all should know, if you don't know already, Dangerous Don knows because he was a moderator, and a couple of other of us, Chad included, have been stewards, and we were behind the curtain. There is a very elitist attitude towards the managers or by the managers at badgerandblade.com. I don't begrudge Joel and Nick, who are the owners of badgerandblade.com, because I don't think it was ever meant to be that way. But the moderators will openly say, oh, you guys have such a better job than we do. The moderators are a hard job. And it is a hard job, I admit. But they have an elitist attitude, meaning that they're the ones in the ivory castle. We, as the members, are nothing more than the subjects that are sludging around in the mud. Now, normally I would not get negative about that, but the first time that my suspension happened, I was the bigger man. I was professional, and I let everything go. But once I told the truth after one of the moderators, and I will name him, Toothpick Jason, lied. Flat out, and said that it was my decision, even though I had placed that there just to be political. Claudel Xerxes was another one that was involved in that, as well as Jim, the main moderator, or the grand poobah over there, apparently, when Joel and Nick are around. I do not know whether any of the other moderators were involved in this at all, especially with this latest suspension, but I wanted to give a heads up to everybody that just keep an eye on your account. I don't know if they're going after me specifically because they think I'm a troublemaker, or they think that I'm soliciting their vendors or soliciting their members, which I can assure you I'm not. And Jim, Jason, and whoever is going to be listening to this, which I know you will, I would never do that. I'm too professional for that. I would never, we don't need to go after your members. They are coming to us. So you never have to worry about that. And if they never reinstate my membership, that's fine as well. Because the TSC, or the shaving cadre, is meant for gentlemen. We don't need to be policed by moderators who think that they're better than we are, because we are gentlemen and we can police ourselves. That's why, if you've noticed, Chris, Chad and I do not have moderators at this time. Now, once we get bigger, will we probably have some? Sure. But trust me, they will be vetted, and they will be told very simply that we are no better than the members. In fact, we are lower than the members, because the members actually drive the content. Another thing that you may not know, vendors are very stifled over there. And this is all stuff from behind the curtain that normally would not be brought up. But you know what? They draw first blood, and I'm not going to be nice anymore about it. They stifle their vendors. They charge them $500 a year and then tell them they can only do their selling in their forum. They cannot openly discuss things in other forums, although that's not written. But yet, if you look at some of the vendor forums over there, or some of the vendors that have made comments in other forums, they immediately get shut down because the moderators think that they're shilling. Now, we are a young forum. We don't know everything. And I'm sure that elitist attitude over at badgerandblade.com is what they're going to say. Well, you guys don't know what you're doing. Well, maybe we don't, but we're having more fun than anybody. And our membership is growing by leaps and bounds, because if you just do a Google search on badgerandblade.com, you will see the complaints that have happened. And this is not vengeance. This is not meant to be a vindictive op-ed. I'm telling the truth on what happened. And even I'll go one step further. I will invite any, and I mean that, any moderator from badgerandblade.com to come on the show and answer those allegations, and to maybe even tell me why that I was suspended without any action at all, and when I had not been on the site for maybe 3 times in 3 months. So there you go. badgerandblade.com. Moderators of badgerandblade.com, many of you who I trusted as friends, but when it came down to it, you did not come to back me up when I did nothing wrong. I invite you to come on the show. Let's let the membership of both places decide what was right and what was wrong. Now, quite honestly, I don't think they'll accept my invitation, but I would even invite Joel or Nick, which I have absolutely no animosity to whatsoever. Joel has always been a gentleman to me in everything we've done, and he is the one that actually gave rise to the choice of, or to the, being allowed to try the radio show on badgerandblade.com. But there are a few, and I will name them. Jason Toothpick is a young child that feels that he is the boss and he's going to push you around however he wants. Claude Xerxes just follows whatever Jason's doing. And, of course, Jim. Jim was the final one who made all these decisions, and I'm sure that in this suspension he also made that decision as well. So first and foremost, I would invite any moderator, once again, as I said, to come in and debate and discuss in a professional way what happened at Badger and Blade and why it's continuing to happen at Badger and Blade. When you step out of line one way, you're immediately smacked in the face by a moderator. Once again, I'd invite Jim, Toothpick, Jason, Claude Xerxes, come on the show. Let's discuss it. So that's our op-ed. If you guys have any questions about that or comments, you can contact me offline if you'd like, or if you'd like to put questions in the TSC radio that I can answer for you on this next time, I will do so. I certainly want you to, I want to thank you for listening to this op-ed. I wanted everybody to know the truth and to keep an eye on things for your accounts, because the last thing I want is for you to get chastised for whatever Chad, Chris, and myself have done to create this forum. But I think, based on what I'm seeing, it's a good thing. So once again, we thank you for listening, and after this next break, we'll have the owner's pit stop discussion. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back. Since 2009, Bull Goose Shaving Supplies has been providing the best in shaving products to the discerning traditional shaver, carrying shave soaps, creams, aftershaves, fragrances, razors, and accessories from many of the top manufacturers, as well as unique and artisan shave products from around the world. Bull Goose Shaving Supplies also carries its very own product of shave soaps, custom brushes, and razors under the Asylum Shaveworks brand, including the one-of-a-kind Asylum RX single-edge razor, the Asylum Evolution, an homage to the 1930s Darwin, and coming soon to Bull Goose, the Paradigm Titanium double-edge razor. Bull Goose Shaving Supplies is your one-stop shop for bath and shower, as well as all personal grooming accessories. Looking for that special gift or storage solution? We have that too. With lightning-quick order fulfillment, wonderful customer service, and an easy-to-navigate website, you can get everything you need at Bull Goose Shaving Supplies. www.bullgooseshaving.com. That's www.bullgooseshaving.com. Well, hey, Chad and Chris, how are you doing this evening?
Great.
Chad,
Doing
that's when
good,
you say
Dave.
something.
Thank you.
Okay, good. I was wondering, there was a little delay there from Chad. I know it was a hard question, but, I'm glad you were able to finally do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the TSC, back to another owner's chat towards the end of the show, but we're calling it something different now. Since we are the three amigos, you saw that in the intro, and we know you do, you love our banjo, or my banjo intro with the three of us. And then finally, the screeching car and crashing sound as we pull into our little shack of horrors that we call the Owner's Pit Stop. Well, we had a lot of questions this week, but before we do that, let's go ahead and smack the big elephant in the room because Chad, Chris, and I have been discussing this. And gentlemen, I would like to get your thoughts on this whole suspension craziness that's going on with Badger and Blade. Whoever wants to take it, go right ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. You start.
Sure. Well, my first thought, Dave, very much like we talked earlier in the week, was it seemed really out of left field that they would do it and very unwarranted. But I'm just most concerned that our members would suffer on other sites because somebody doesn't like you. So I think that's the thing that most concerns me, is that any member that wants to be part of the TSC, if they suffer on another site, whether it be B&B or otherwise, because they hold on animosity towards one of us, that would be the most undesirable thing I can think of. So, that's where my head is right now, because it's just unbelievable that grown-ups would behave otherwise.
Agreed. Chad?
Yeah, I think Chris, you hit it on the head there. I think the three of us, we understood right when we started the shaving cadre a little over 3 months ago that we would run the potential to serve suspensions, be banned, or something along those lines over at Badger and Blade, and we were prepared for that consequence. We just don't want actions that the three of us are taking or making affecting you, the members. It's not fair to you guys. We believe that if you want to be a member of every single Shave Forum Facebook page, Reddit that's out there, you should be comfortable to do that. What we hope that keeps bringing you back, though, to us is that you realize that we're different. We're doing things a little bit differently, and it's a level of respect that we're going to treat you guys as members as. And that's kind of what I just want to make sure that all of our members walk away from this realizing, as we open up and let you all aware of what's actually happening, is that we're fine with that. And I think that's just kind of the big thing that we're trying to convey to you guys today.
Well, thanks, Chris and Chad. And I think that's true. I mean, this is a free country. You should be able to say what you want, do what you want. And whatever forum you guys want to belong to, more power to you. Just, keep an eye on things. You, like I said, you should not be, pardon my French, bastardized because you're part of the TSC and you have acquaintances with us three. But we're going to go ahead and put that to bed. Let's get on to some fun things. Thanks, guys. Okay, we have some questions for the owner chat that we want to get through. Now, unfortunately, we did have a delay in the taping of this, so rather than answer a whole bunch of stuff about the 7 sins of deadly shaving, we'll just point you to the thread in the TSC forum. There's some great videos in there about our deadly sins of shaving, and most of them have been done on YouTube, so please check those out. They're a lot of fun. So Nurse Dave, thanks for asking that. Now, from Gearnor, we have a couple of questions, and I'll go ahead and answer it. Why are none of the three amigos completely shaven? And why at least one of them has a strange man love for Commander Riker from Star Trek? Well, I'll answer that first. First of all, it took me, my hair grows in geologic time, although it's thick, and I don't have to go to the costume shop and get some latex like somebody we know. But I wear my handlebar because it took me 2 years to grow it. However, I have acquiesced to our man Chad that if we get to 500 members, I will become clean shaven. Now, Chad has a different take on it, and then Chris will fill in the blanks. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, so for me, obviously I'm one of the youngest, and I'll be honest with you, I used to, I don't know if it's just my makeup, my background or what, but I have a hard time growing facial hair in certain areas.
Chris, I told you,
when
Chris.
you see my goatee on the video, where you see those gaps on my lower lip, it doesn't grow there. I can't grow hair high up on my cheeks. I basically just grow it the whole sideburn area all the way down to my chin and then my whole neck. So really the reason why I grew one is I wanted a proof of concept that, hey, I could make it work. I could do something. It's there. I know Dave makes fun of it, and stuff along those lines, but I'll say it's a lot better than when he last saw it in person. Because when he saw it in person, I was only like a month into it. So I feel like it's getting better. But I did say in a previous shave video that when we get to 100 members, which, by the way, I think we're at 72 last time I checked, I'll shave it off on video. I'm willing to do that, and that's kind of where I'm at in my next steps. When we get to 100, I'll shave it off on video, and then we'll see if it comes back ever again.
Hey, Chris, you need to send me that $5 that we bet on the fact that Chad wears makeup. He just admitted it. He said it must be my makeup.
Oh, come on.
So, how about you, Chris? You've had that goatee for a while.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Chad threw that out there. Hey, if we hit a certain number of members, will you shave off your facial hair? And my answer is no. I'm not going to do it. I've had a mustache since I was 16, and I've shaved my upper lip max 4 times in my life, including age 16. So I've had a mustache forever. Various different. You can go back to my high school wrestling pictures, and I'm the guy with the mustache. I didn't always wear a goatee. I think I might be willing to shave that off and maybe cut the mustache a little short, but that's as close as I'm getting. My hair does grow faster. I can grow a full beard if I want to. I'm as we speak right now, I'm up in the mountains considering not shaving for 4 days, but after 2 days, it's too much for me. So maybe we hit 500, I'll go no goatee and a really close cut mustache.
Well, that sounds fair enough. But here I've got another challenge. Let's challenge the members at TSC that when we get to 500 members, that they all grow a mustache.
Yeah.
And that would be perfect for Movember. So hopefully by November we'll be at 500 members and everybody can do that for a good charity for men's colorectal health. What do you say, guys?
Yeah, I'm on board.
I think
with
it's
that.
a good idea to turn it.
That's right.
Although realize, guys, if we hit 100 and I shave first, I'm going to have to start growing mine right away. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go to that costume shop you guys keep making fun of. So.
This is true. We'll have to talk about that. Okay, and the second part of the question was, what got each of you into traditional shaving, and what secrets can you impart on getting the wives on board, and what is the next step for getting new folks into the shaving cadre? Well, in my case, I'd been traditional shaving since the military, really, because we used DEs, and then I went to the 5 cartridge crap and the electrics and stuff, but came back because it's fun. It's a hobby, and it makes your skin feel good. And now being in master barber classes, it's really making me realize how important that is. Now, the second part of that, what secrets can I impart to get my wife on board? If it smells good and she likes it, she steals it. She's got 3 of her own brushes now, 2 razors, and a plethora of soaps that have vanished from my shave closet. So I think the key is, honestly, find something that she likes, and when you make an order, do something for her. Pick something up for her more than anything else. And I'm going to let the other 2 guys talk about, what they think of that question. And to me, as far as getting more people into the TSC, just to continue doing what we're doing. You're not stifled here. You can kind of speak your mind, obviously within limits. And you police yourselves. We don't need moderators to be behind your shoulder. So that's how we're going to get new members, just by spreading the word. And most importantly, from referrals from people like you. Okay, Chris, how about you? How about those 3 questions for you?
Well, I've had to think back to see what got me into traditional shaving because I did have a DE. I still have the original Gillette that I had when I was about 20. I think I got married 19 or 20, and then I bought one. And I even bought Williams mug soap back then. Didn't know how to use it. So it sat in the shower, and it was very rarely used because shower shaving with a DE takes skill that a young guy may not have. But it was always there, and I'd break it out every so often, mutilate my face, and move back onto some cartridge. Never really did do an electric razor because it never worked for me, and so I bought a few of those but set those aside. What really got me back into it, I'm going to say 5 years ago, was I was searching for nostalgic scents, and I assumed that the nostalgic barbershop scent came with soap of some sort. And the guy I was working with says, yeah, I use Parasso. Actually, it's the Bed Bath & Beyond version that he uses, and a brush, but he used a cartridge after that. So, okay, I can do that. And I picked some Parasso up. Loved it. Had to wait to use the DE because I couldn't find my original one. But I soon learned that the smell I was after was Clubman. But that was only after I'd bought, every other scent from the dollar store, every other, I think I bought D.R. Harris shave soap was the next purchase I made. And I loved everything about it, but it was the scent, the search for scent that got me into it deep. As far as getting wives into shaving, my wife isn't going to do it. She's a shower, turn on the water, grab that Bic disposable, and get it done in 10 seconds person. Just not going to happen. But one of our members mentioned a long time ago, Jim, Wild West, that he lathered up and shaved his wife's legs with one of the soaps that I made. I think that's a good way to get him into it. I think if I can get my wife to hold still long enough and I lathered up and gave her a shave, I think she'd like it. So as far as what we're going to do to grow the membership, like Dave says, keep doing what we're doing. And I think I'd ask members to start poking their friends. Wherever their friends are, poke them and say, this is where I hang out at some point during the day. Check it out. So that's my take.
How about you, Chris? Oh, and real quick, or Chad, but real quick before Chris, bungee cords and come-along straps will go a long way from keeping, to have her hold still.
Holding still.
Yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. How about you, Chad?
Speaking from experience there, huh, Dave?
Sharon. Do you think that would ever happen?
No, I know. Well, for me, I guess being younger, my dad, when it was time to start shaving, he handed me a Mach 3, and he used Edge gel, the gel, and then you would have to rub it in your hands and create your foam, and that's what I would use. And I hated it. I would pull hairs, I would get ingrown hairs, it sucked. And so then I was left with that option, right? Do I suffer through it and shave, and then I'm going to have to walk, and I would only shave once a week because I hated it that much, and then I'd have to walk around with 2 days of irritation on my face. Or as I got older, finally what I decided to do was that, all right, I'm done with it. We're just going to let it grow out. As I said in the last segment there, all I can grow is a neck beard, and so I looked horrible, honestly. And so finally what it came down to is at work talking with some friends about shaving and complaining about those 5-bladed monstrosities and how they pull and they don't actually cut. How basically I'd buy a 5-pack and it would last me all year. A friend said that he was gifted something from Artist Shaving, and it was a double-edged razor and an Artist Shaving soap. And he said apparently a lot of people collect these too. And I was like, oh, really? I'm into collecting things. I collect coins, I'm into old coins, I'm into movies, I've got a whole bunch of different collections. So I was like, I didn't realize that. So for me, it was maybe I could make a quick buck because I like to flip things. I'll buy things, turn around, and sell them. Well, needless to say, what ended up happening is that I got hooked. And so here I sit now with over 200 soaps, over 40 razors, and I don't even know how many brushes, and enough aftershave to keep me smelling decent until I'm dead. That's where I'm at. As to getting my wife into it, she is into it. It took a little bit longer, and what it took was a friend of mine, actually over from Badger and Blade, Sam. Some of you might know him, I'm assuming. He actually he was sending me a package with some soaps to try out, and he said, hey, I'm going to include a Lady Schick, an injector razor. And I had already given my wife a Lady Gillette, but she would use it, but she didn't like it as much. But the Schick gave her a really good shave, and that's when I started buying her some soaps from Soap Commander, from Sterling. We went into the store the other day, and she picked up a Razor Rock soap. So, she's coming along, and she's tried a few of my other soaps, and she likes them. So I think it's possible, to get the women into it, and that's kind of the way that it happened with me. And now it's something that, she asked me the other day, when are you making your next Sterling order? So, it's something that, we can now do together. Granted, I'm more into it than she is. For her, I think it's still a chore, whereas for me, it's turned into a hobby. But she recognizes that she gets a better shape this way. As to the third part of the question, I think what it comes down to is you as the member, right way, we're going to continue to grow. So that's what it comes down to. I think we've developed some good relationships already on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Been trying to increase the posts that are happening there. Still reaching out to some friends, and some acquaintances that we've made on other shaving forums and other shaving areas of the website. I think Chris is right. I think it comes down to, talking to your friends and getting them in here. I mean, if you're listening to this radio show, and if you are a new wet shaver and you've never used a DE blade before, you better hit the join button now, because there is a group of guys here who are going to bombard you with so much information and so much kindness. I envy the guy that jumps on first. Our first new guy at TSC will probably go down in history, because I can just imagine the type of information and stuff that he's going to get. There's going to be no way that he's not going to get a good shave. Let's put it that way. So I think we're going to continue to grow, and I'm confident that the reason we'll do that is because of our membership, and they're feeling confident in inviting more people in. And a shout out, really, because the last 2 weeks we've been boosting our membership, and it comes from a guy who actually joined up, who goes by Dave and KY. Dave in Kentucky, I guess, technically. He's a member here now at the TSC for 2 weeks, and I think he's brought over an additional 3 or 4 guys who are already joining in great conversation. There's some great new topics that are coming up, and that's really what it comes down to, guys. That's what we need. We need you to come in. We need you to help us start up the threads. Let us know what you guys want to talk about, and that's what we're looking for. That's it right there, and just inviting the people that you like to talk to and giving them a different platform and a different space to do that in. So.
Well, thanks, Chad. You basically encapsulate everything that I think all three of us are thinking. We'd like to thank Gearnoir for those questions. And one other thing, when we're talking about new threads, it was funny because when we opened up the video section, or the video and audio section for videos, we all sat there with bated breath for about 3 days because there was no posting. And we all thought, okay, there's a big fat failure, but I guess somebody had to be the first, so I went ahead and posted stuff, and you guys have exceeded our wildest dreams as far as the posting of videos. It's really, really fantastic, and we want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
So the next one...
It's like the joke that Nurse Dave says, right? Where's my Dagwoods video? I've got my coffee ready.
Exactly.
My Dagwoods video.
Exactly.
It's awesome how quickly the video section has taken off. It's really
awesome.
Cool.
Well, this next set of questions comes from Walter, our good buddy McBayvac from Pennsylvania. The first one's for me is, Sharon made a stab at making any shave soap yet? No, not yet. We're in the process. As most of you know, we had a couple of our attack ducks, one of our attack ducks get into some problems. Plus, what we're doing is we're setting up what they call a she shed for her, where she can do her ceramics and her soap making and stuff like that. So we're close, but it's still a few months out before we go on that. And also, this question is for Chris. How long does it take to wear off super glue from your hair, facial hair, and eyebrows?
Yeah, that's a traumatic episode right there. As it turns out, I found the shirt I was wearing that day last week, and it still has super glue on it and some hair. It actually takes longer than you think, because nothing will get super glue off your face. Acetone doesn't do it; it just smears it around, and it's pretty awful. I mean, that was the shortest I've cut my beard in a long time. My goatee, because there was hair in it, but only part of my goatee could be cut. So I'm going to say 4 days, maybe 5 if you swim a lot, or less than that if you swim a lot.
Why? So, why do I have this funny feeling that the next journal post you make says you wouldn't believe what happened when a bear came into the camp? I don't know why I feel that way, but
I got bear boxes up here now, so I'm told there's a lot more wildlife. But I will say this: squirrels do not chase lasers the same way cats do, but they do enjoy it. Yeah,
I'm bringing one of those up to my camping trip this weekend.
I could just see it now. I really can. National Wildlife Conservancy sues Chris Lindsay because a patched blind squirrel came to them for help.
He's just trying to see if that brush will ladder. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the final question from Walt is for Chad, and it said, Chad, when you visited Tucson, did Dave make you any menudo?
You know what? I knew this question was obviously coming, and no, he didn't make me any menudo. However, when he was chauffeuring me around, I was forced to listen to it. And you guys might think, oh, great, he has it on the radio. Oh, no. He just sang it the whole way. So I had to listen to him sing it the whole time. No, but in all seriousness, Dave was, good to me out there, and he took me actually. I like to try new things, and I have a very thick stomach, so to speak. I can eat anything, and I think Dave was a little hesitant to take me to this hot dog place for the Sonora dogs, because it's literally it was a tent outside set up with chairs, and they've got everything in coolers, and they've got their taco trucks back there basically, and they're making these Sonoran hot dogs. But I assured Dave in the car, I was like, no, but I'm fine. I'll be fine there. I want to try it. And so he said, well, this is the best place to get them. And he wasn't lying. That was a good hot dog. And I'm itching to get back down there and try it again. In fact, I know we've talked about, getting my family down there for a vacation and going through the national parks, and going and grabbing a Sonora hot dog would definitely be on the list.
Well, you'll have to do that obviously in October, November, December, because right now, of course, we're basically 1 degree less than the Kilauea volcano right now. But no, it was a lot of fun, and we ended up having a real good evening, dinner at a Mexican restaurant with my wife, and we had a good time. It was fun that Chad came down here, and if you guys, I'll bring this up. If you guys get a chance to meet another member of the TSC, do it. It's really fantastic, because most of us will agree that we've made some friendships here that are better than even some of the friendships that we have in real life. And so when you get that chance to meet that other member, it's special. It really is indeed.
Open invitation if you're in Utah. Hit me up, and I'll make it a point to meet you, grab a bite to eat and a beer or whatever you want. It'll be nice to meet anybody.
Yeah, and that's same with me, and I'm sure that's probably the same with Chris as well. Just let us know. Now, this next question comes from Graybeard. Unfortunately, it's very, very late. And he said, will the Penguins win the Stanley Cup this year? Well, no. In fact, they won't even make it. The Penguins are mine, but they screwed up. So the Capitals are the winners. So if you guys were a Capitals fan, congratulations. So that was a little bit late. This one comes from...
Do you even know what hockey is?
Yes, I watch hockey. I watch football.
I figured, it's all melted out there. You've never probably even know what snow looks like.
Actually, believe it or not, our the U of A collegiate team, well, it's now a club because they defunded it. And the fact that they tore down...
They can't keep the ice cold enough.
No, they tore down the only ice rink we had, but they were pretty good. But no, I still watch hockey, and the Penguins are my team, and so are the Pirates, and so are the Steelers, and the Pirates lost to the Diamondbacks all 3 games, so let's get on with this. So this next question comes from SS Kim Tom, and this seems to be a theme, and I think Chad has something to do with it. When will Dave bring Menudo back for a reunion tour? Well, I'll say this. It depends on how much Chad keeps giving me crap as to how long it takes me to make a video of Chad and his Menudo cover band. So I'll leave it at that. On a more serious note, he would love
KJ
to...
and I are getting our vocal cords going, man.
Oh, there's a joke there, but the FCC will not allow me to say it. On a more serious note, I would love to hear the new stuff Chris Lindsay is creating in his labs. Chris?
It's funny because just earlier this week I was talking with someone that Dave. I won't mention the name, but it was a she, and the discussion was about a shaving cream for women, something that will behave differently in the shower.
Right.
And about 10 minutes after I got off the phone, I had an epiphany. I ordered some stuff. It's sitting at home waiting for me. I know that it'll make a better shaving soap, so I think I'll have the best shaving soap in the world with it. But if my experimentation goes well, there might be a better ladies' cream, I think we'll say.
Nice.
But I won't know because my wife won't try it. So I'll have to send it around.
That's pretty good.
So on the next episode of TSC, Chris is shaving his legs in the shower.
Oh.
Yeah. I'd sooner do that than my goatee.
Okay, I'm going to do something on behalf of the members that I'm sure are doing the same thing. Two things. One, and second, I think everybody just threw up a little bit. Thank you, Chad. But
Wear a swimming suit.
Oh God! Oh, that's so bad. Where am I here? Oh, okay. And now we've been asked to list a top 3 for soaps, razors, and fragrances. So I'll go first. The top 3 would be my Dorco 1151 straight razor. The second would be probably both of my Jerry Starks. And then, of course, my Korat. As far as soaps is concerned, that one's easy. SV, Apuntia, SV 70th, and third would be Panacrim and Uavia Verde. As far as fragrances, Creed Aventus, Creed Neroli, and English Fern. Okay, you guys take it from there.
I don't know that I could top that list. I'll say favorite razors, the Vorpal razor, one I learned with. There's in any of the like Henkel's or Wilkinson's that makes those safety razors that use something that looks like a chopped up straight razor for the blade. Love those, absolutely love those. Favorite soaps. The first one that comes to mind is Euphros Rosa Bourbon. I just dig that scent, and the soap works well for me. Favorite scents, I'm with you, Dave. Creed Aventus and Aqua de Parma Intensia.
Oh, I forgot that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we know, Chad. We know it.
Good ones.
We know what you're going to say, Chad. Soap Commander, Soap Commander, Soap Commander.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Soap Commander, but
I know there isn't.
I think for me, my 3 favorite razors, it'd be my Timeless. It'd probably be my Feather SS. And on my third one would probably be, even though I can't get a good shave out of it because I think there's something mechanically wrong with it, I need to send it off and have someone look at it, it'd be my grandpa's Gillette Slim
there you go.
that he used. Just has more, intrinsic value. I've gone over that with everyone.
Sure.
It means more to me than what I can get out of it.
Right.
As to soaps, man, I love the SV70 a lot. There's a lot from Soap Commander that I like. There's a lot from Sterling that I like. The scents that I've been going to the most, though, lately has been the Fairway from St. Charles Shave and also the Lime Margarita from Beehive here in Utah. So I really like that scent also. As far as like EDTs, I guess is the question, right? Kind of what the fragrances are. I also like Creed Aventus. I've been using Orange Dirt a lot more.
Oh, yeah, that's
however you pronounce that one.
The Orange Noir.
I love that one. Add that to my list, Dave.
Yeah, the Terre de Hermes, or however you pronounce it. And the name's leaving me, but you might know, Dave. What is the green, the green one from Fine after?
Oh, Green Vetiver?
Fresh Vetiver.
Fresh Vetiver?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like vetiver too. Add that to my list. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to say, Tom, is I don't think that this group of three amigos cannot come up with three, because
it's hard.
Because I forgot the fat boy that was my wife's father-in-law's that has more value to me than really anything. So I think it'd be hard pressed to put three things together. So what I'll do is I'll just say, what are our top three favorite of everything? The answer is yes. That's all we'll say.
Yeah. And it changes from season to season for me. Sure. I'll be honest with you. Like, if you ask me in the winter, I'm probably going to pick more oud scents, and some sandalwoods and stuff like that, because I tend to use those more in the wintertime. But...
Well, I like oud.
It's a hard question to answer.
I like oud scents, but I've got to be very careful because a certain person in the house does not like oud, right? No. I hope you guys heard that.
You need to have her try. Lisa's coconut oud. Didn't I send you some of that?
Yeah, I haven't got to it yet. I'll do it because
she intense. That's great stuff.
Yeah, I love it, but Sharon
it's wonderful.
But what's happened in our household now is that if Sharon doesn't like a specific scent, she calls it an oud. So that's kind of our code word.
Well, and she also packages up your soaps and ships them to me, and then we play a game where we wait and see how long until Gabe realizes.
Now I get it. I know, and that's funny because she always says, "Oh, don't pick on Chad. He's like your son." It's no. Yeah, well, I don't know.
She's got my back, and I got hers.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Okay, well, I answered this. Next question is from Clyde72. Like the way I did that, I just kind of slammed the door and let's go on. Clyde72 is asking, how about Chris and Chad's aha shaving moment? Quite honestly, Craig, I can't remember what I said, so I forgot, so we'll just have to go back in the archives on that one. But, Chad, what is your aha shaving moment?
For me, it was all about the lather. As weird as that sounds, in the very beginning, I was having a hard time with the lather, and what I realized very early on is that I was now you got to go back 4 or 5 years in the wet shaving realm. There was a lot of videos, and I was also trying to mimic what they were making in their video, and I was also trying to mimic what I would get out of a Barbasol can, which is very airy, very dry, but dense lather. So you could hold it in your hand, it would stand on top of itself, but it was airy and dry. And my aha moment came when somebody, I don't even remember who, recommended make it wet and go for, the way they described it, is a slimy snot consistency. And when I did that, that was my aha moment of like, oh my gosh, this is what it's supposed to be like. This is it. So don't try and mimic what you're seeing on the shave videos from 4 or 5 years ago. I think that has changed with the shave videos. I think more people are recognizing that. It's not about how you can make your lather stand on top of itself, and you're not trying to mimic what you squirt out of the can. It's a totally different consistency. And I would say that was really my aha moment.
That's awesome. Shaving. That's awesome. How about you, Chris?
Yeah. That was, while Chad was talking, I was thinking, sure, lather was one of the issues, but not so much, because I did use a Parasso to start with, and it's foolproof. Pretty well. You had Parasso and with Williams, and you have the best possible lather you'll ever have. But there was a point at which, fairly early on, I decided to do a little bit more touch-up after I had shaved, but I really wasn't thinking about it. I was going to make it quick. So I just kind of, very quickly, because I had already done 3 passes and knew that I must be careful, very quickly, with very light pressure, just the dragging that razor across the face, did the touch-up. It was amazing, the result. So that was the moment at which I learned what no pressure was. That combined with a very almost residual lather more than an actual lather, it was amazing how it actually worked. So that was, it's kind of like don't think about it, I guess is the thing. The more you try to study and perfect your technique, the more you get caught up in the moment. If you just let it happen. It's almost natural. And then fast forward to when I, about 40 shaves into my straight shaves, which I'll say was 6 months after I started DE, when I had to go back to doing a DE, I was a master at it, and all it took was practicing something that could kill you to make DE that much easier.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, I was thinking that I think, if I'm right, and I think this is also like your three, is there one aha moment? Well, okay, yeah, but you have multiple aha moments throughout your shaving, as you get better and better. And I was just thinking that my biggest one was one that's been being used for years and years and years, and that's prep. And when I saw some old videos of old barbers doing the prep the way they did, I'm thinking, there's got to be something to this. And that's when I started doing the prep thing with the towel and everything else. So I think just like our last thing that Tom asked us about favorite stuff, I think it's the same thing. I think that you have an aha moment. For me, even these last 2 weeks when I've been shaving with a DE and the same soap and the same brush and everything else during the week, and then having a straight shave on the weekend, that in itself is an aha moment, because then you realize, wow, how fun is this when you do it, once a week rather than every day. It doesn't get as mundane. Not that straight shaving is ever mundane, but you really appreciate the other products and stuff you have. Well, guys, I want to thank you for this owner pit stop. It's been another fantastic conversation. Anything you guys would like to add before we close out the segment?
The first thing that comes to my mind, Dave, I'm on vacation, and I think a lot of people are going to be on vacation. In fact, this is just the first of many trips. Okay. I'd like to see some posts, videos, pictures of people on vacation doing what they do. Shaving. How do you shave in the wilderness? We'll see if I can pull that off. I don't know. But where are you going? Where are you shaving?
That sounds good. How about you, Chad?
Yeah, I just barely got back from vacation. Myself today. I'm going out again this next weekend, and maybe I'll bring a razor with me this time around. I didn't this last time, so tomorrow I'm going to cut off a couple days' growth. But I think kind of the big thing that I just want to say to everybody is that thanks for being a member. I know the three of us appreciate it. I think the three of us, every time we think about it, we're a little in shock how quickly this site has grown, where it's going, and seems great. The future looks bright. And I'm really excited to see us take off, and I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the site grows.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, and I appreciate you guys taking your time out on a Sunday evening, even though this will probably air on Monday, to discuss these items and everything else. And I just, on a personal note, want to thank both of my partners for the support that they've shown me through all these things. And we are very lucky, I believe, that we have formed a three-man amigo partnership that is not much below perfect as far as I'm concerned, because we all bring a certain level of expertise to it, and for that I am most appreciative, and most importantly, obviously, for you, the members. So we want to thank the owners once again, and we'll be back to close out the show right after this.
Once I hurt my knee trying to make a tackle that a lot of people thought I shouldn't have been trying to make. Well, let me tell you, if you put that uniform on, you're supposed to be a football player, and you've got to be ready to go all the way. That's just the way I am. I guess that's why I use Brute. I like the smell. I like the way it works, the way it lasts.
Brute by Fabergé. After the game, after anything, Brute goes all the way.
If you're not going to go all the way, man, why go at all?
This brings another episode of the TSC Radio Show to a close, and we certainly want to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to our little get-together each and every month. We'd also like to thank Eric and Sean for our hobbyist section. We appreciate you guys donating to the site and being a part of the hobbyist section. We hopefully will have some vendors up and running here pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that for their vendor mall and their stores. On behalf of Chris, Chad, and myself, we'd like to thank, most importantly, you, the member. You are the lifeblood of the TSC, and we appreciate your membership each and every day. If you have any suggestions for the show and upcoming episodes, please let us know. And we hope you have a wonderful week, and thanks for being a part of TSC Radio.